Cannes, France. Carlton Hotel Terrace. May 17, 1995. 11:30 in the evening. The Mediterranean air is warm, carrying the scent of expensive perfume and cigarette smoke. The Cannes Film Festival is in full swing, and the Carlton Terrace has become what it always becomes during festival season, a gathering place for the elite of world cinema. Directors, producers, actors, distributors, people who make decisions worth millions of dollars over cocktails and casual conversation. Approximately 40 people occupy the terrace tonight. Most are clustered in small groups, talking, networking, drinking. The language shifts between English, French, Italian, sometimes Cantonese. Film festivals are international territories where nationality matters less than what you can offer, what you can produce, what you can sell. At a corner table near the terrace railing, a group has formed around Jean-Claude Van Damme. The Belgian action star is 34 years old, at the height of his Hollywood career. Bloodsport, kickboxer, universal soldier, time cop have made him one of the most bankable action stars in the world. He is 5'10", 185 pounds of sculpted muscle, carrying himself with the confidence of someone who has fought his way from Brussels street fighting to Hollywood stardom. Van Damme is holding court, as he often does. Around him sit 3 producers, 2 directors, a French film critic, and several others whose presence indicates they belong in this exclusive space. The conversation has shifted to action cinema. What makes a good action film? What separates real martial arts from mere choreography? Van Damme is animated, passionate. He speaks in accented English, mixing in French phrases, his hands moving as he talks. He has been drinking champagne, enough to loosen his usual media-trained caution. Among people he considers peers, he speaks more freely than he would in a formal interview. The conversation turns to Hong Kong cinema. Someone mentions that Hong Kong action films are gaining attention in the West, that American studios are noticing the wire work, the choreography. One of the producers, a woman from Miramax scouting Asian properties, mentions she recently watched several Golden Harvest films and has been impressed. Van Damme sets his champagne glass down with a slight shake of his head. Several people lean forward, sensing he is about to offer a contrary opinion. Hong Kong movies? Wire work? Camera tricks? Undercranking to make everything look faster. It is not real martial arts. It is cinema magic, yes, very impressive. But it is not what I do. Real martial arts is what I showed in Bloodsport, in Kickboxer, Full Contact, real tournament experience. I fought in Kumite, real Kumite, underground tournament, full contact, knockout rules. In Kumite, if you make mistake, you get hurt. In Hong Kong movies, if you make mistake, they reset camera and try again. The circle listens. Some nod. Others look less convinced but say nothing. Van Damme has momentum now. These Chinese actors, they are very athletic, very dedicated, but they train for performance, for forms, for looking good on camera. They do not train for real combat. Real combat is raw. It is about power, about timing in chaos. Traditional kung fu, wushu, these are cultural arts, beautiful. But as fighting systems, for real confrontation, they are outdated. Modern kickboxing, Muay Thai, these are pressure-tested. Put Kung Fu guy in kickboxing ring, he will not last. The Miramax producer, perhaps feeling defensive about her recent interest in Hong Kong cinema, decides to press. What about Jet Li? He is 5-time national Wushu champion. That is competitive achievement. Van Damme knows little about Jet Li beyond the name. National champion of what? Of forms? Of Taolu, the performance division? This is exactly what I am saying. National champion of forms is like being national champion of dance. Very difficult, requires great athleticism, but it is not fighting. It is performance art. He pauses, takes another sip. You put Jet Li in kickboxing ring, full contact, 3 rounds, he would not last. I am not trying to insult him. I am being realistic. Wushu is gymnastics. Beautiful gymnastics. But in real fight, against someone trained in full contact system, Wushu fighter would be lost. They train for judges, not for opponents. The circle has grown. A few people from adjacent conversations have drifted over. When Van Damme makes bold claims, people listen. What Van Damme does not know is that Jet Li is on this terrace tonight. He is sitting at a distant table, drinking tea, not socializing. But he is no longer at that table. He has walked to the service area near the bar to get more tea. And the service area is 15 feet from Van Damme's circle. Jet Li has heard the last 2 minutes of this conversation. He has heard his name. He has heard his accomplishments reduced to dance and performance art. Jet Li is 32 years old, 5'6", approximately 140 pounds, wearing simple dark slacks and a white shirt. He does not look like a movie star. His appearance is unremarkable in this crowd of styled celebrities, but those who know him understand something Van Damme does not, that his 5 national championships were not in forms alone, but in full-contact sanda, that he competed in Lei Tai matches where the rules were simple: knock your opponent off the platform or force them to surrender. A Hong Kong producer named Michael Chan sees Jet Li approaching the circle. His eyes widen. He considers warning Van Damme, but decides against it. Jet Li walks calmly into the edge of the circle. His movement is quiet, unhurried. Several people notice him, but do not recognize him. The Miramax producer recognizes him, her eyes widening, but Jet Li gives her a small shake of his head. Wait, Van Damme is still talking. This is why Hollywood action is superior. We show real athleticism, real contact, not wires, not tricks. Jet Li's voice is quiet, polite, accented but clear. Mr. Van Damme, excuse me for interrupting. Van Damme stops, turns. He sees a small Asian man in simple clothes. His expression shows confusion, slight annoyance. Yes? I am Jet Li. I heard you have questions about Wushu. I wanted to clarify some things. The circle goes very quiet. The Miramax producer's hand moves to her mouth. Michael Chan allows himself a small smile. Van Damme's expression shifts. Surprise, recognition, then something more complex. He recovers quickly, showman instincts activating. Jet Li, I was just talking about you. Come, sit, join us. Jet Li does not sit. He remains standing, relaxed. Thank you, but I will just stand. I do not want to interrupt your evening. I heard you discussing Wushu, and I thought perhaps there is some misunderstanding about what Wushu training involves. Van Damme spreads his hands, defensive. No misunderstanding. I have great respect for Wushu as cultural art, as performance. I just said that for real fighting, it is not the same as full contact systems. I understand. Jet Li's tone remains calm. But I think maybe you do not know about Sanda division of Wushu, or about Lei Tai tradition. Van Damme shakes his head. I know Wushu is forms, Taolu, patterns, routines, judged on difficulty. Taolu is one part, Sanda is another part. Full contact fighting. 2 fighters, protective gear for hands and head, full contact to body, throws allowed, sweeps allowed. Knockout ends match immediately. I competed in Sanda for 4 years before Taolu. This seems new to Van Damme, but this is modern sport edition, yes? Sanda is modern format, yes, but it comes from Lei Tai tradition. Very old, raised platform, no ropes, no rules except no biting, no eye strikes. If you fall off platform, you lose. If you surrender, you lose. If you knock opponent unconscious, you win. No protective equipment, no weight classes, no time limits. The circle is completely focused now. Even adjacent tables have stopped their conversations. This Lei Tai, where you fight this? Van Damme asks. 1979 to 1982, 15 matches, different locations in China, different opponents, different styles. Sanda fighters, traditional kung fu, wrestlers. 1 Muay Thai fighter from Thailand. And your record? 15 matches, 15 wins, 3 by knockout, 8 by opponent falling from platform, 4 by surrender. The Terrace is very quiet now. Van Damme processes this. He recognizes that his narrative about Jet Li as merely a forms competitor is incorrect. But his pride is involved. But Lei Tai, this is Chinese system, against Chinese opponents. Kumite is international, different countries, different styles, real test against unknown opponent. Jet Li nods slowly. You are right that testing against different styles is important. My 15 matches included Northern style, Southern style, wrestling, Muay Thai, Sanda specialists. But you are correct, these were all in China. I cannot speak about fighting in other countries because I have not done this. There is a pause, but Jet Li is not finished. However, I can speak about training philosophy. You said Wushu fighters train for judges, not opponents. This is true for Taolu. But in Sanda, in Lei Tai, we do not train for judges. We train for one thing, to control the opponent in most efficient way possible, not to look good, just to control. Control, Van Damme repeats, his tone suggesting the word is insufficient. In real fight, you need power. You need to hurt opponent. Hurting opponent is one method, but not only method. Control can mean controlling distance, so opponent cannot reach you. Controlling their balance, so they cannot generate power. Controlling their timing, so attacks arrive late or early. Controlling their structure, so even if they hit you, the hit has no force. This is a different philosophy than Van Damme's, and he struggles with it. Michael Chan, sensing an opportunity, asks the question others are thinking. Mr. Van Damme, you said earlier you would love to see a demonstration, Wushu against kickboxing. Both men are here. Would you still be interested? The Terrace goes completely still. Van Damme's face shows several emotions. Surprise, pride that will not allow him to back down, but also genuine uncertainty. He looks at Jet Li, really looks, sees a smaller, lighter man, but also sees something in Jet Li's posture that gives him pause. Complete absence of fear or aggression. Just calm presence. I would be interested, Van Damme says slowly. But not here, not tonight. If Jet Li wants serious demonstration, we arrange properly. Proper space, proper witnesses, proper rules. Jet Li shakes his head gently. I think there is misunderstanding. I do not want to fight you, Mr. Van Damme. I just wanted to correct the idea that Wushu is only performance art. I have explained about Sanda, about Lei Tai, about my background. This is all I came to do. So you do not accept demonstration? Van Damme's tone suggests he thinks this proves his point. I have nothing to prove. I already proved what I needed to prove. In Lei Tai, in Sanda competition. Those fights are finished. I am movie actor now, not fighter. But I wanted you to understand that Wushu training, real Wushu training, includes real fighting, not just forms. The distinction is important. Jet Li is not refusing out of fear. He is refusing because he does not need to prove what he has already proven. Van Damme seems about to respond, but Jet Li continues. Mr. Van Damme, you have done many great films. You have shown real athleticism, real skill. I have watched Bloodsport. Your flexibility is exceptional. Your commitment to training is obvious. I respect this very much. But when you say Kung Fu is just movie trick, just wire work, you disrespect not just me, but thousands of practitioners who have dedicated their lives to these arts. Some train only for forms, yes, but some train for combat, real combat. And these people deserve respect, even if their training looks different from yours. The words are delivered without anger, without superiority, and somehow this makes them more powerful. Van Damme is silent for a long moment. Finally he speaks, His tone shifted. "You are right. I spoke too generally. I should not have said all kung fu is just performance. I did not know about Lei Tai, about your background. This is my mistake." It is not a complete apology, but it is an acknowledgement. Jet Li nods. "Thank you for understanding. Martial arts world is very big. Many styles, many approaches. Some work better in ring, some in street, some in movies. But all deserve respect if training is serious and dedicated. Perhaps one day we spar," Van Damme says, his tone different now. Not challenging, but genuinely curious. Not for demonstration, just to learn from each other. Jet Li smiles slightly. "Perhaps, but I think we would both need good insurance." This breaks the tension. Several people laugh. Van Damme extends his hand. Jet Li shakes it. The handshake lasts several seconds, both men maintaining eye contact. Then Jet Li nods to the circle and walks away. He returns to his table, picks up his tea, and after a few minutes, leaves the terrace entirely. The circle remains quiet, processing what just happened. Van Damme is less animated, more thoughtful. The Miramax producer makes a mental note to pursue Jet Li for projects. Michael Chan tells 3 people about what he witnessed, and by morning, the story has spread through the Chinese-language film community at Cannes. Van Damme does not speak publicly about the encounter, but in interviews over following years, his answers about martial arts in cinema are more measured. He stops making blanket statements about kung fu being merely performance. And on one occasion, when asked if he would fight Jet Li, he responds, "Jet Li is real martial artist, very skilled, very intelligent fighter. I respect him too much to fight him for entertainment." The encounter lasts less than 10 minutes. No punches are thrown, no demonstration occurs. But what happens is perhaps more significant. A correction, delivered with respect and backed by factual achievement, that forces one man to reconsider his assumptions. Jet Li never speaks publicly about the encounter. In his philosophy, there is no value in publicizing moments of private correction. The important thing is not that others know, but that understanding was reached. According to those present that night, the moment that changed everything was not any threat, not any physical demonstration, but simply Jet Li's quiet recitation of his Lei Tai record. 15 fights, 15 wins, facts that could be verified, that could not be dismissed as movie magic. May 17, 1995. The Carlton Hotel Terrace. 40 witnesses to a confrontation that never became a fight. A martial arts philosophy explained not through combat, but through calm correction. A lesson that sometimes the most effective response to disrespect is not anger, but information delivered with discipline and quiet confidence. Van Damme left Cannes 2 days later. Jet Li completed his meetings and returned to Hong Kong. They never trained together. They never appeared in a film together. But the encounter remained part of festival legend, told and retold, each version slightly different, but all agreeing on the essential truth. That night, on a terrace overlooking the Mediterranean, a smaller man educated a larger man. Not with fists, but with facts. Not with aggression, but with calm certainty. And in doing so, demonstrated what real martial arts mastery looks like. Not the ability to hurt, but the ability to control. Not just control of an opponent, but control of oneself. Control of ego. Control of the need to prove. Jean-Claude Van Damme learned something that night. Those who watched knew they had witnessed something rare in action cinema, where ego and bravado are often valued more than discipline and restraint. They had witnessed a master at work. And the mastery was not in fighting, but in not fighting. In correcting without humiliating. In defending an art without attacking a person. That is the story according to those who were there. The details may vary, but the essence remains constant. Respect is earned not through volume, but through substance. Authority comes not from physical dominance, but from demonstrated achievement. And sometimes the most powerful response to a challenge is not to accept it, but to reframe it entirely. Cannes, 1995. A conversation on a terrace, and a reminder that real martial arts mastery extends far beyond the ability to fight.